Leesburg. So for 2025, our theme is Rising Higher, Growing Deeper. And for the month of October, our theme is Glow Up. The title of our talk today is The Holy Land is Everywhere. And we have our guest speaker, Reverend Melinda Jacobs, is back. If you've heard her before, I know you're as excited as I am. And if you haven't heard her, then you're in for a real treat. All right, if you have any prayer concerns or celebrations, please feel free to include those in the chat. And when we get to our prayer portion of our service, Reverend Melinda will be sure to include those. We practice a form of affirmative prayer, which we call spiritual mind treatment. And as I said, that will be after our message. So that's all I have to say to kick things off. Sit back, take a deep breath, relax, and enjoy our welcoming video. Please join us as we create our sacred space. We set our intentions of deepening into our awareness and practice of our 5 pillars of spiritual living by lighting this candle in our virtual world. Our first pillar is sacred study, represented by the divine quality of truth. We use this pillar to recognize the importance of an open mind and the power of our minds. The second pillar is affirmative prayer, represented by the divine quality power. This pillar honors the power of prayer in our daily lives. Our third pillar is meditation and the divine quality of peace. This pillar reminds us of the importance of meditation and the peace we feel when we quiet our minds. The fourth pillar is circulation and the divine quality of life. We know that the great law of circulation works in our lives. As we give, so shall we receive. And the fifth pillar is sacred service and the divine quality of love. This pillar affirms our call to be of service to our world as we see through the eyes of love. Let us close our eyes as we bless this sacred space and our time together. As we weave each of these pillars of spiritual living into our service today, may they deepen our own spiritual practices of study, prayer, meditation, circulation, and service, expanding our minds and our hearts to the 5 divine qualities of truth, power, peace, life, and love. We also bless everyone who made our service possible today and everyone in attendance. May the energy of love that is generated here bless everyone abundantly. And so it is. All right. Before our meditation, we'd like to give an official welcome to our guest speaker, Reverend Melinda Jacobs. As you can see on the screen, she is quite a busy lady. She is a certified clinical hypnotherapist, and she assists people as they heal from trauma, past trauma. And she's been doing this for over 15 years. She'll guide you through a transformative journey with compassion, expertise, and we were sharing before service. She's also a teacher on Insight Timer, and I love to hear her meditations, which you're about to get a taste of momentarily. So welcome, Reverend Melinda Jacobs.
Thank you, Tamara. Thank you, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. It's so good to be here in this beautiful new day. I want to invite us to come into that sacred silence by closing your eyes if it's comfortable for you. Knowing that meditation is a state of mind, a state of being, and it doesn't require your eyes to be closed. You can do a walking meditation. You can do candle gazing, cloud gazing, just embracing nature, hugging a tree. This time of silence is to come back to remember the truth of our being. to quiet the noise in the mind, the busyness of the body, the agitation in the spirit. To invite ourselves to reconnect to that greater sense of life that is moving in, through, and around us. And so just breathe with me. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, sigh it out, just allowing yourself to settle into the support beneath you. Feeling it rise up to hold you. Another deep, full breath in. And exhale. Sigh it out. Letting go of the weight of the past, the worry of the future. Knowing that this moment is the most powerful moment, the generous present moment. And today we acknowledge and recognize Indigenous Peoples Day. We recognize the ancient wisdom that lived on this land before European settlers came. We recognize the harmony, the reverence of the relationship between land and people. We remember a time of a sacred daily living ritual. This is not a memory that comes from books that we learned in school. This comes from our cellular memory. It comes from the memory of the land. And so just opening yourself up now to receive that wisdom, to receive that memory. As easy as it is to tune into a channel on TV or the radio or a YouTube station. We tune into the land, to the ancient wisdom, to the echoes that were left behind long ago in practice, in the wisdom that was handed down. In the carvings and the paintings that were left on the walls of stone. We recognize and honor the First Nations that occupied the territories in which we live right now. In Virginia, we honor and recognize the Iroquois, the Sioux, the Chickahominy, the Patawomack. Where I live in Arizona, we acknowledge First Nations of the Yavapai, the Navajo, the Apache, the Hopi, and so many other nations and tribes that lived with this land. We honor you. We remember you. We bring you and your wisdom and your practices into this time, into this circle of communing together, to this sacred space, this sacred container. And when you're ready, just coming back, bringing your hand over your heart. Finding that sacred connection within yourself, knowing that the ancient wisdom is right here, under your palm. It is within you and all around you. And when you're ready, take a deep breath in. Exhale, releasing the meditation, coming back into the room and just softly blinking open your eyes. And now we'll hear from Leah.
Thank you so much. This is a song we've shared together before, often in the time of the approaching winter solstice, but this feels appropriate for our Glow Up month. This is a song by India Ari, and if you'd like to sing, please do. I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light. I am not the things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. 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 I'm not the mistakes that I have made, or any of the things that cause me pain. I am not the pieces of the dream I've left behind. I am light. 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 I am not the color of my eyes. I am not the skin on the outside. I am not my age. I'm not my race. My soul inside is all light. I am light. I am light. I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light.
Just breathe it in. I never want to speak after Leah plays because the energy is so exquisite and it's so clear. And thank you, Leah, for being you, for bringing your beauty, your wisdom, your talent to this space. I so appreciate you so much. Good morning again. My name is Reverend Melinda Jacobs. I am in Arizona. And I have this beautiful honor to have this soul connection with this beautiful sister, Reverend Charlene Banks. And I get to come and share time with you all. So thank you, thank you. Month October, the month of October, glow up. I love that. I just think of, the fall and the warmth and the jack-o'-lanterns and the lights and celebrating the light, celebrating the harvest. And today we are talking about the Holy Land is everywhere. Isn't it though? This is a time where we get to remember. I'm doing this series called The Remembering, and I feel so blessed to have this moving through me, because it's not anything I'm creating. I'm just opening up the channel for it. And today's topic, the Holy Land is everywhere, is just such an incredible remembering. We give reverence for the earth. This is a true glow up, right? It's in honor of Indigenous Peoples Day, which is tomorrow. And we get to find inspiration from First Nation people who lived here before European settlers, as I've already said. And to take in that wisdom, that reverence of the land, and really truly sit before them as teachers of how to be in this powerful relationship. I'm going to try to get through this reading. I know it's every time I read it, just the tears come. So hopefully I've cried it out enough. This is from Chief Seattle, and this is from December 1854. Just breathe that in. 1854. See, waterworks. Every part of the earth is sacred to my people. Every shining pine needle, every sandy shore, even mist in the dark woods, every meadow, every humming insect, all are holy in the memory and experience of my people. We love this earth as a newborn loves its mother's heartbeat. So if we sell you our land, love it as we have loved it. Care for it as we have cared for it. Hold in your mind the memory of the land as it is when you receive it. Preserve the land for all children and love it as God loves us. As we are part of the land, you too are part of the land. This earth is precious to us. It is also precious to you. One thing we know, there is only one God. No man, be he red man or white man, can be apart. We are all brothers after all. I read those words again and again and again. And I was like, wow, here's the original Science of Mind. Here's the original teachings right here. Here's the golden thread that we talk about in the teachings of New Thought. Is there's this commonality that runs through all wisdom, all teachings, that we're all one, we're all connected. There is no separation, even with the land, right? And so in Science of Mind, the perspective is that the earth is designed to serve as a source of abundance, to allow life to grow, evolve, and thrive. It's the field in which life comes forth, right? And so if we follow the example set by the Indigenous people, we may choose to honor our holy relationship with the land. In the Science of Mind textbook, Ernest Holmes writes, the combined intelligence of humanity could not create the life of a plant. Think about that. The combined intelligence of humanity could not create the life of a plant. Yet the intelligence in the creative soil of the earth will produce as many for us as we ask when we plant the seed of that which we wish to have created. Ernest has this interesting way of kind of talking circles. And I was talking with someone just yesterday about how Master Teacher Jesus spoke in parables. And I just got to spend a weekend last weekend with Dr. Joe Dispenza, who is also who I would consider a walking master teacher on the planet. Walks it, breathes it, lives it, connected, tapped in, tuned in, speaks love, peace, and wholeness, and speaks to the power that we are, right? And through these words of Ernest, through the words of Chief Seattle, through the experience of Dr. Joe, what I really recognize and understand is that it's all energy, it's all consciousness, and it's all held in the words. And I want to invite you today to consider you don't have to learn through the hearing and the understanding of the words. I'm going to watch Reverend Shar's face right now because I know this might make her glitch a little bit. There is an intelligence within us that knows. There is an intelligence in and around the earth that knows how to bring life forth. But the combined intelligence of humanity, which Ernest is talking about, I believe he's talking about our mind. Through our mind, we can't create life because we've left out the most important part, which is that intelligence that lives within the land itself, that lives and breathes itself in the rivers and the waters and the animals, in and through and around all things, including us. That is what can bring life forward. And this field, soil, thought, seed, plant, creation. It's such a common theme that we come back to again and again and again in Science of Mind. The mind is the field. The field is this universal field of potentiality, full of potential, waiting for you to drop your seed into it. Your seed being your thought. Dr. Joe talks about the seed being the thought. It's the signal that we send out into the field. And then the elevated emotion, the gratitude for that which we've just planted coming back to us. That's what draws it back to us, is that elevated feeling, right? So plants serve as a design. They serve as a beautiful example of the divine design. And we experience our own individual glow up when we tend to the soil of our mind, when we tend to what's happening between our ears and within our hearts with the same loving care that we would tend to a garden or a single plant in our home or the earth itself. So as we move through this conversation, we're going to touch on painful things because we've done painful things. And so our first point to consider is, what would it look like to take personal responsibility? I loved Leah's song when she said, I am not what my ancestors have done. I know those weren't the words, but that was close. I am not that which has been done before me. And yet we're all one. And so right now, the United States is experiencing a glow up as the country has begun to take responsibility for the physical and cultural genocide of First Americans. I didn't do that. You didn't do that. Chances are your parents didn't do that. But somewhere along the way, our ancestors did that. And there's no separation. And we hold within ourselves cellular memory. And so from Dr. Hugh Len, who taught us Ho'oponopono, he teaches us that if it's in your awareness, it's your responsibility. It's your job to do the clearing. That's the Ho'opono prayer, is that as soon as it hits your consciousness, now it's up to you, right? To do that beautiful clearing prayer of, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. And it's not to say that I personally did this, but it's to recognize that now that I see it, I have a responsibility to clean it up And this is my prayer to clean it up. And as we look at and celebrate the Indigenous people, and when we take responsibility for what we've done in the name of, this is a powerful way to glow up ourselves as a nation and come back to that ancient wisdom that has been taught through the First Nations, through science of mind, that we're all one, right? The harsh truth about Indian boarding schools is coming to light. And while the governments and religious organizations responsible for abusing thousands of First American children are attempting to atone for their actions, there's some personal responsibility happening. Did they do it personally? No, that was not them. But that's where the healing lives, right? The First Americans Museum opened in 2021. Just how many years ago is that? 4 years ago. It's the first Smithsonian institution dedicated to honoring First Americans, to the First Nations, to the tribes. The cultural traditions of Indigenous people center on honoring the spiritual nature of the earth. And today's theme is a quote from Black Elk, who said, "The Holy Land is everywhere." And so we take this week as the perfect opportunity to celebrate the culture of Native people by giving reverence to the earth, to walk in those footsteps, to sit at the feet of the master teachers who were showing us the way. Our next point is to recognize every experience is sacred. And right now, oof, right now, that one might be a little hard to digest. Every experience is sacred. And that allows us to recognize the divinity within all of life. Every step we take is on holy, sacred land. And we forget it so easily because when I take a step, I step on carpet. When I take a step, I step on tile. When I take a step, I step on cement on a sidewalk. How often are you stepping on the land? Every step. Underneath that tile, underneath that carpet, underneath that hardwood floor, underneath the multiple layers of buildings, of living or office buildings, underneath it all, like Ernest Holmes says, at the back of it all, underneath every step that we take is Mother Earth. She's right there. Every step you have ever taken on this planet, she has risen up and met you. And I think about that often. I didn't have the best mothering experience. I love my mother. She's transitioned. I'm shifting my relationship with her a bit. And I've always kind of felt that more universal mother to fill in the void of what I didn't get in my own human connection of my relationship with my mother, is to feel mother underneath me, rising up to meet every step. There's so many times in our lives where we can feel really alone and disconnected from it all. We can feel scared. But when we can bring our attention back and remember, under every single step, there she is, walking with us, teaching us, holding us, catching us. The number of times that I've fallen to my knees and just in utter despair of like, oh, this is so hard. I fell into her. She held me. And it's the most subtle, not subtle perspective shift is when you recognize her presence underneath you, holding you, enfolding you, enveloping you. Then you get to remember that as the sacred experience, every experience sacred. And there she is walking with you. Despite whatever challenges we're experiencing, we never need to look too far to appreciate the miracle of life. I often look out this window and I see this beautiful tree with these beautiful pink flowers, and it's still flowering. I'm new here to Arizona. I'm like, how long are those flowers going to be in that tree? I hope forever. I hope all seasons. But we get to see the miracle of life every single day the sun rises, right? How many times have you seen the pictures of the plant bursting through the rock? I love those. And it just reminds me how powerful life is. It reminds me of Jurassic Park and Jeff Goldblum just talking about life will find a way. It's going to find a way, right? It's going to burst through whatever obstacle is in front of it because life will always find a way, right? And when we recognize that connection to the earth and we realize we're supported in everything we do, then there's no stopping us. Think back, Willy Wonka singing, "If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to, do it. Want to change the world? There's nothing to it." Right? When we open our eyes to the truth that the Holy Land is everywhere, then we can truly choose pure imagination to appreciate the land and give the earth the reverence it deserves. We are not separate from it, but our buildings and our foundations have created this false barrier, boundary between us and earth. And we just need to remember she's right there under every step. Our last point is to ground yourself in nature. And when you're ready for your own personal glow up, simply look to plants for inspiration. And if you don't live in nature and you're not blessed in that way, get a little house plant. All it takes is one little one. And I suck at growing plants. I do not have a green thumb, but you know what? I do have live plants and I get those and like I can't stop them from growing, even if I forget to water them for weeks at a time. Add a little water, life springs back again. They're very forgiving for me and I appreciate that. Having plants to look at to remind us that our minds operate in the same way as soil, right? Back to that analogy. When we plant the experience we desire, when we pull the weeds of our fear and our doubts and our unsupportive beliefs from our thoughts, when we water our minds with affirmations, and we feel the sunshine of spiritual connections, our dreams take root and bear the fruit of our dreams. Some of us are struggling significantly, and we're in survival mode. We're caught up in the busyness of the day and getting the bills paid and getting the kids taken care of and trying to manage our lives. Connecting to nature is one of those wonderful ways to ground ourselves. We can enjoy the fresh air. We can run our hands through the grass, hug a tree. Cloud gazing can activate our imaginations, can remind us that we're free from limitations. My license plate says unlimited. Yeah, it's a Dr. Joe thing, but it's not. It's a reminder that anything we can do is possible. Like Willy Wonka, anything you dream, just do it. There's nothing to it. Because our true nature, our true remembering of who we are is we are connected to all things, to this beautiful planet of ours that gives us life, that walks with us, that rises with every footprint, every step we take. To remember our unlimited nature of our being is one of the most powerful things that you can do to bring life back into your dreams, to get your body out of survival, and to begin to create the way that you were designed to create. Make no mistake, beloved, You're a powerful creator. And there is this infinite universal mind that just wants to say yes to you and continues to say yes to you. So whether you are being intentional with your thoughts, with your feelings, with your relationships, with your connections, the universe continues to say yes and yes and yes. And so if the thought tends to go to planting seeds of fear and despair and lack and limitation, the universe is saying yes. Oh, the number of times I have thought recently, well, I guess I'm losing my health care. And then this fast little thought comes in and it's like, why? Why, Melinda, would you plant that seed? Because why wouldn't you choose a reality where that doesn't happen to you or to the masses? Why put more energy into that creation? And so every time I see myself go down and plant that seed into the very fertile soil of the universe, I stop and I say, no, I'm choosing to plant this seed now, where we all are supported and loved, where we live in balance and harmony of the tribe, of the First Nations, the way they showed us. I choose to go there. It doesn't mean that the other seed didn't get planted. It did. And yet, as soon as I catch it, I revert and I move to different seeds. Let's plant something different. If I don't want a crop of corn, then stop planting corn seeds. Plant something different. But we have to catch ourselves because some of that is just unconscious. We're just going with the masses. And right now, the masses are very, very scared. There's a lot of lack and a lot of sense of things are being taken away. There's a lot of forgetting that we're powerful. We're powerful creators, and I'm here today to remind you. So, things that we can do to remember the Holy Land is everywhere is through discussions about climate change. Even though it's very controversial, consider creating a dedicated space for brave conversations about how do we individually and collectively honor the earth. There's a book study, you could have a book study of Robin Wall Kimmerer's Braiding Sweet Glass. That's a great book that could serve as an opportunity for people in your community to learn about Indigenous wisdom and apply it to cultivating a loving relationship with the earth. It was written by an Indigenous botanist, and it blends science, spirituality, and ancient wisdom for our contemporary world. And in honor of Indigenous Day, consider honoring our own CSL ministers who are making a difference and significant contributions to the glow up of First Americans. Last year, Reverend Tammy Lambert was sworn in as a judge with the, I'm gonna do my best on this, Hickoria Apache Nation Court. And she also serves on the CSL Legal Committee. And then Reverend Victoria Bomberry, her dissertation title is Indigenous Memory and Imagination, Thinking Beyond the Nation. She serves on the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Committee of CSL. And their work is exemplifying the ultimate glow up in our communities. The last thing I want to share with you is something that Dr. Joe shared with us last weekend. He's always studying, always gathering data. And the data that he's gathering is just, I mean, mind-blowing. Like they used to call it pseudoscience because they didn't have the data. Well, now they have the data, and now the science is showing it. Make no mistake, we're part of the whole. Your energy impacts the whole world, the planet too. And the data that they shared with us is during the retreats, they do these coherence healings where people who are very, very sick, terminal illnesses, coming into the room to receive healing, and miracles are happening every time. Miraculous. Tumors are going away. People who you would never think could ever be healed, medical science says, sorry, go pack your bags, go get your affairs in order, say goodbye, are healing. And so what happens during these retreats is they have a random generator machine in the room that's just randomly generating numbers, ones and twos, ones and twos, ones and twos. And if you looked at it on a graph and made kind of a parabola, like a sideways parabola, the ones and twos, it would be pretty centered because they're random. And so there's not so many ones, not so many twos, but it's just generally straight through. During these coherence healings, the energy is so intense, so focused, so much energy is focused on wholeness, oneness, and order because the form, the physical form, follows the energy. The random generators start acting erratically, meaning they stop becoming random and they start going outside of that parabola, and you will see this arc going outside of the parabola. Why? Why would the energy field of people holding focus do that? Because we're creating a coherence field. We're creating an energy field so organized in order, in wholeness and love that it is impacting random generators, random number generators. Now, the Heart Math Institute did a study, and this is what just made my mind go bloom. We have one of those in the room, measuring the energy of the room through the whole retreat. And it spikes outside of its randomness during the coherence healings. These random generator numbers are machines are all around the planet, measuring the field of the planet. When we do these coherence healings, those machines around the planet show the identical spike. This is a room of 1,400, 1,600, 2,000 people, 2,200. I think the biggest room I sat in was maybe 2,400. That's all it took to change the energy field of the planet. Make no mistake, we're connected. And when we take our attention and our love for ourselves and aim it to the planet and remember the connection, there is no separation. We can heal ourselves, we can heal the planet, we can heal our past and our history. We're powerful, and the data is starting to show it. So let's go into prayer. So if you close your eyes and just come back in and just allow the energy of these words to just wash through the cells of your being. There's nothing here that the mind needs to do other than to soften, relax, and just to allow the transmission of the energy be its own alchemy. And just breathe. And we recognize in this moment that there is only one mind, one heart, one love, that it is moving in and through around all of us. We are that individual wave coming up out of the ocean and going back and receding back into the whole. These individual lives are extensions of the one. This one life, one mind extends beyond our individual experiences as bodies, and it extends out into the plants, into the rivers, into the animals, into the rocks, into the very planet and beyond, into the galaxies, into the cosmos. One living, breathing consciousness pulsing itself through life, as life, expressing itself. And so in this moment, I am just knowing that we are all waking up. We are all remembering our divinity that lives within us, that we are part of. I am knowing that we are powerful creators, that we are powerful healers, that we are powerful mystics. I am remembering and knowing for each and every one of us our abundance, is our birthright. Health and well-being is right here in the energetic matrix of our being, and it is our job to remember that and to know that. And so as I hold these words, as I speak these words, knowing that they are rippling out around the entirety of the planet, I know the power of these words and the power of the universe as it listens and responds. And it moves itself to bring into form a more peaceful experience for us as human beings, a more connected experience for us with the land, a more deeply healed experience for us as we take responsibility for what our ancestors have done and have had done to them. I am knowing right here, right now, that that is all that's happening, is the love of the universe itself is dancing itself and weaving itself in, through, and around all things, all beings, all people, all creatures in every single experience. And I am so, so grateful just knowing that this is unfolding, knowing the power of who we are, remembering the deep connection that we each and every one of us have with ourselves, with this universal spirit, and with the planet. And so I release this into that universal law, remembering it says yes, and yes, and yes, and so it is.
Thank you so much. Once again, I want to invite you all to sing. The lyrics on the chorus are very simple. They are everywhere. I see it everywhere. The beauty of this life. I see it everywhere. Everywhere, I see it everywhere. The beauty of this life, I see it everywhere. Everywhere, I see it everywhere. The beauty of this life, I see it everywhere. Let's do it again. Everywhere, I see it everywhere. The beauty of this life, I see it everywhere. Everywhere, I see it everywhere. The beauty of this life, I see it everywhere. Look out, sister. Look out, mister. Look out, loved ones, it's everywhere. Look out, children, you don't want to miss it. Try and close your eyes, you'll see it's everywhere. Everywhere, I see it everywhere. The beauty of this life, I see it everywhere. Everywhere, I see it everywhere. The beauty of this life, I see it everywhere. Look out, sister. Look out, mister. Look out, loved one, it's everywhere. Look out, children, you don't want to miss it. Try and close your eyes, you'll see it's everywhere. Everywhere, I feel it everywhere. The beauty of this life, I feel it everywhere. Everywhere, I feel it everywhere. The beauty of this life, I feel it everywhere. Everywhere, I see it everywhere. The beauty of this life, I see it everywhere. Everywhere, I see it everywhere. The beauty of this life, I see it everywhere. And I hear it.
Oh, and I love the children joining in the background. Beautiful. Life is everywhere. All right. Thank you so much, Reverend Melinda Jacobs. Thank you so much, Leah for the music. And now is our time where we thank you for your donations that keep us able to do what we do. We're able to bring the message, the music, and the meditation to you on Sundays because of the law of circulation. As you give, so shall you receive. You give and you receive when you come to CSL Leesburg. There's so many ways for you to give. Odds are, if you're a regular attendee, if you're a member, you found a way that works for you. And if not, please take a look at the screen. And now we'll move on to the blessing of our gifts. Please join me. The presence of spirit within me blesses everyone I meet, tends to heal everything I touch, brings gladness into the life of everyone I contact. Therefore, I am a blessing to myself, to humankind, and to the day in which I live. And so it is. So I'm assuming we have a slide about conscious giving, our conscious giving program.
Hold on. We're going to show Melinda. Sorry to break into you.
No
Sorry.
problem. No
We're going to do
problem.
a real quick commercial for Melinda's
Good.
beautiful
Good. I wasn't sure
upcoming
the
event.
order.
Yeah,
How
and then I want
wonderful.
to tell you, Tamara, real quick, we're not going to do the big kickoff, just a little teaser because of
Okay,
time.
got it.
Okay, go
Love
for it,
it.
my sister.
Life is everywhere. Things are happening in the now. All right, folks, you got a taste of Reverend Melinda, and odds are you want some more. So she is hosting a workshop. It's called Living the Life of a Mystic, an immersive retreat to awaken intuition and live a soul-guided life. When is this happening? This is happening Friday, November 7th, Saturday, November 8th, and Sunday, November 9th from 9 to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And I'm going to read because I love what it has here. If you ever felt the call to trust your intuition deeply, to live life as a special journey, guided by unforeseen, unseen forces, to step into the mystery and embody the magic within you, then this might be the place for you. You can see on the screen what awaits you. You'll explore what it truly means to live as a mystic. You release old patterns through transformative rituals and experimental practices, and strengthen your connection to inner guidance and learn to follow the subtle whispers of your soul. You'll be immersed in the potent healing vortex energy of Cottonwood, Sedona, that beautiful part of Arizona where Reverend Melinda lives. And oh my goodness, it just sounds so amazing. So there is a link in our chat if you're interested, or stay after our service. Reverend Melinda will be here and you can ask her any questions about it. But it just sounds like a marvelous, marvelous opportunity. We can never get enough of Reverend Melinda. All right, so like I said, October is our conscious giving, and we're kicking things off today. And what is conscious giving? You heard me talk about the law of circulation, right? As we give, so shall we receive. So I am president of our leadership council, and we met yesterday, and we're starting to think about the year 2026. How about you? Are you starting to think about next year? So in order to make our plans for the new year, we need to set our budget. And how we set our budget is by looking at what will we have coming in. Based on what we have coming in, that is what we can give out. So what we can give to our members and give to people in workshops and classes and people who join us on Sundays. So this is the month to think about how much you give, how much you can give, and what are the needs that are being filled when you come to CSL Leesburg. How do we feed you? And I want to add in a little insight on what we do with our leadership council. We tithe quarterly, and we were talking about for the next quarter, we want to give to people who, or organizations that feed us as an organization, CSL Leesburg. So we practice the law of circulation. It isn't something that we just talk about. It's something that is part of our practice. All right, with that, stay tuned. Love this theme of glow up that we'll continue to explore during the month of October. And you heard me mention pearls. So if you can, hang around with us for a little bit. Maybe you would like to talk to Reverend Melinda. Maybe there was something from the message today that just stirred you and you want to ask some questions or talk some more about that. Maybe there was something in the music, something in the meditation. This is just our little virtual coffee hour, and we hang out with each other and we chat and catch up with each other's lives and share what we're experiencing. So if you can, please stay. If you can't, know that we're going to send you off with our love and blessings as soon as we do our closing in affirmation. Now, as I look at my screen, not only do I see that closing affirmation, thank you. You know where I'm going, Dan. You know where I'm going, Reverend Melinda. I have participants, and I can see your little microphones, and I can see if they're turned off, and I can see when they're turned on. And you know. It's just little me in my house with my cats, and I love to hear you. So please unmute if you feel comfortable and join me in our closing affirmation. Are you ready? Here we go. Repeat after me and say it loud and proud. I am love.
I am love.
See what happens when you do that? When you unmute, you make me do my happy dance. All right, next, send this message out. You heard Reverend Linda say, we're all connected. There is no separation. So you can send this message to somebody who's close by, somebody who's in the room with you, a friend, a family, or a furry companion. Or you can send this out to anybody who needs a little reminder. You are love. You ready? Here we go. You are love.
You are love.
You are love.
I sent it out to you. Did you feel it? All right. Next is our closing affirmation with it's all love, a beautiful reminder. Here we go. It's all love.
It's all love.
Love.
Oh, love. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you again, Reverend Melinda Jacobs. Thank you, Leah, for joining us and providing beautiful music that'll keep us singing for the rest of the day. If you can stay, please stay. And if not, know that we send you off with our love and our blessings. Have a beautiful day and glow